And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Tuesday, December 22nd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome on a Tuesday morning. I did not cover my windshield last night. I thought it was going to be about 39 degrees, and it won't frost then. It will at 38, they tell us. Anyway, it's frosty out there this morning, but a beautiful day going for us. And we're here to talk about Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital for a moment this morning, and to tell you that the Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health, dedicated to delivering the highest care to women in all stages of life, is now here in Lebanon. The Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health provides a wide range of obstetrical and gynecological care, including annual well women exams and pap smears, preventive screenings, pregnancy care and delivery. They also offer same-day appointments. The Women's Health team is committed to caring for you and your unique needs. You'll also be happy to know that the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center is now serving patients in Wilson and surrounding counties. The Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, this nationally renowned cancer center, has experienced on-staff board-certified radiation oncologists, the latest and most advanced radiation technology with pinpoint precision. The Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center treats all types of cancers, provides the highest quality protocol and technology in the industry, as well as convenient real-time access to clinical data for patients through VanderbiltHealthConnect.com. Hospitals are for healing, new life, and recovery. They're places of innovation, learning, and exploration. But more than anything, hospitals are really about one thing: community. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, honored to serve Wilson County and be part of all the great things that are happening here. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, 1411 Badur Parkway in Lebanon. All right, this morning my guest is Larry Tomlinson, who is school board chairman, Wilson County School Board Chairman, and we're glad to have him here bright and early, right live in studio. Larry, good morning.
Well, good morning, Coleman. It's good to be here.
How are things out in Centerville, where you and I both grew up? You still live out there.
I still do, and
you're the only one of us that grew up there that I know of that still left.
Well, I really don't know what to say about that. It may be that you all were a lot smarter than I was, and saw an opportunity to get out and did, but I'm still there. But no, it's home, and but it was a little frosty out there this morning.
Yeah. But well, I've joked to you and others too that, I remember one time anybody came by selling a book, my daddy just about would buy one, and he bought an atlas, and in that atlas it had Centerville, Tennessee, population 28.
Well, that's that was. I think we have more people out there now, but one thing that I'm certainly glad that they have rebuilt our road out that way.
Yeah.
And we have a really nice road, and it'll even be better once they get the section coming into town done. But
Larry, I can remember when we had a gravel road, and the pave only came to about where my Uncle John Bingham lived, just your side of Spring Creek.
Yes.
It was paved that far, and then I believe about 1948 and 9 that they paved it right by the Centerville store and our house, and I guess up to the county line or whatever.
Well, the house that I grew up in, Coleman, the road veered off to the left in front of our house, and it went up that way. And then when they came through, I guess it was sometime in the early 50s, and they built the road that's there now that comes across, came in behind our house. And everybody used to always say, "Well, how come you had your front porch on the back of the house?" I said, "Well, at one time it was the front porch. It wasn't on the back of the house." But yeah, it's I guess what I was going to say there was, I was disappointed that they never did put up our sign back on the side of the road that said Centerville Unincorporated. So I don't guess I had my politics good enough to get the sign put back up. But
well, you have done a lot of things in your life. You've been a county commissioner. You've been a member of the school board, I believe, 2 different times, haven't you?
Well, yes.
Weren't you on the school board and then a county commissioner and then back to the school board?
No, I started out on the county commission and then got off the commission and got on the school board, and then took some time off from the school board and then got back on.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, anyway, you set the record straight there. But we do have a lot of things to talk about. There are really some challenges here, and it's been a challenging year, as we all know. Actually, the last half of the of last school year, and then the first half of this year, and of course we're out now for the holiday break here, and it was COVID was bad enough, but now we had the tornado. We still have not been able to settle with the insurance company on those two schools that were damaged. Maybe we can talk about that for a moment here first this morning.
Well, yes, and it's really gotten us behind. Now I'm talking about the building projects and the two schools that we lost, West Westland Middle and Stoner Creek Elementary.
Yeah.
And it's just Coleman. It's been a long, hard process, and you're talking about, a claim that's in the millions of dollars, and it's just we're making some progress toward getting that claim settled. I would have hoped that we would have had this done a long time ago, but you've got an insurance background and you know how those things work, especially when you've got something of that magnitude.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about property and casualty, but I can understand they are looking out for themselves, and their objective is to make a profit. And you have something as with the magnitude of this tornado in these school buildings, it dents into your coffers, I'm sure.
Well, it does that, and we had a policy that called for a total rebuild, and the sticking point has been that they're saying that there's parts of the buildings that have got to be rebuilt, and some of them it just can be refurbished. And that hadn't been our point. And the city of Mount Juliet has passed some new building codes, and they have gone to the new codes that have been adopted by the national organization, Federal Building Codes. And the state hasn't done that yet. So the insurance company is saying that they're going to go by what the state building codes say instead of what the city of Mount Juliet says. Now, I don't understand how that they can do that, because the schools are being built in the city of Mount Juliet's jurisdiction. So that's been one of the points that we're getting through now, and I'd say that the city of Mount Juliet has really worked well with us to try to get this done, and I'm very appreciative to that, all their elected officials and administration down there for working with us like they have, and but we're making some progress. I would hope that it didn't have to come down to litigation, but if that's what it takes for us to get what we think we need, then that may be what we have to wind up doing.
Is there a medium point somewhere there in the negotiation that the school board might be willing to back off a little bit and achieve?
I think, oh yeah, there's always a point that you get to where that you think you can do what you need to do, and but we're not there yet, and Coleman.
But this needs to be settled. I mean, time is of the essence here.
Well, yeah, when this first started, we were talking about a 14-month rebuild to get the people back in both those schools. And it's really put us in a bind because we were very fortunate that we were getting ready to open up Green Hill High School.
Right.
And we were able to move some of those kids into that building. And then we were able to take what we had that were coming out of Mount Juliet High School and move some of the rest of them over into that building. So we were lucky that happened. But, to be honest with you, if the timeline had been what we thought it would have been, Coleman, we would probably be looking to build another school anyway. So we're up against we're between a rock and a hard place right now.
How long before we're going to either settle or go to court?
Well, we're meeting. We have a meeting scheduled this afternoon. and to really decide what maybe our game plan's going to be and how we're going to proceed with it. And hopefully it can be something can be done, but sometime after the first of the year.
One other thing, has the insurance company been in negotiating mode at all, or they drawn a line in the sand in the beginning and stuck with it?
They have paid some money up front already, for things like clean up the sites and that kind of thing. But we need, Coleman, you can't contract with a company or a contractor and tell him to go in there and start tearing something down and start rebuilding, not knowing how much money you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're at right now.
Okay. Well, I think that we've discussed that enough. There are a lot of other things I want to talk about, but it's time for a break. Larry Tomlinson, Chairman of the Wilson County Board of Education, with us this morning. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:14. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford, and that regular oil change is only $24.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic build down. 65 right now southbound as you make your way through Madison. 1400 block at Church Street, Midtown. We saw that wreck a few minutes ago. They've got that wreck to the side now on 24 East and Whites Creek Pike, but there's still a lot of traffic trying to get through that part of Jolton right now, coming in from Clarksville. Curious Camp Out is a family sleepover with the kids 2 to 6 at Ripley's Aquarium on January 2nd. All the details, Ripley's Aquarium Facebook page. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Wilson County has certainly seen its share of hardships this year. From the March 3rd tornadoes to COVID-19, our people have been resilient. In November, Wilson County had more COVID-19 cases than we did in March, April, May, June, and July combined. I humbly ask for your support as we all work together to slow the spread of COVID-19. Wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask, and stay at home when you're sick. Together, we can make a difference. This has been a public service announcement from the Wilson County Mayor's Office. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
The Dancing Lights of Christmas is back for their 11th annual celebration of the magical Christmas season at the Wilson County Fairgrounds. For just $25 per vehicle, you will experience the dazzling sights and sounds of over 2 million lights synchronized to some rockin' Christmas tunes without ever leaving the safety and comfort of your own vehicle. The Dancing Lights of Christmas, 5 p.m. nightly, November 13th through January 3rd. Don't forget to make plans for Primal Combat December 19th and MMA Championship Fight. For tickets and more information, visit Farm Bureau Exposition Center on Facebook. Attend both events and get discount tickets.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our program each Tuesday at this time presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Larry Tomlinson's here. I got to ask you about Miss Edna, your mother. I hope she's doing well.
Coleman, if she makes it and if the good Lord has really blessed her, she's 98 and she'll be 99 January the 24th.
Wow.
If she makes it to January 24th. And we're very fortunate to have Mama still around with us. And I got to give a lot of that credit, too, to my sister, Barbara, because Barbara has really taken good care with Mama, and Mama stays with her at night. Mama goes home during the daytime for a while, back to her house, and that's what she wants to do. But she's doing well for somebody her age.
Well, good to hear that.
Able to get up and go to the table and, do things like that.
Good.
She sleeps a lot, but I like that too. I like
we have a twin problem, I guess we could say, rather than call it a problem, let's call it a challenge here. But Mickey Hall, who has been, I guess, the number 2 man pretty much in the school system, has resigned. I understand at the end of this year, end of December, he's gone. Yeah. He's out of here. And then, of course, Donna Wright, Dr. Wright, is her contract ends at the end of the school year, end of June, something like that. So she's already said she's gone. And you've got really 2 people to replace, and it is very important that you get the best person available to be the director of schools to replace Dr. Wright.
Well, let me say this about Mickey. Mickey Mickey worn a lot of hats over the years since he's been here, 28-year career, and he's served in a lot of capacities other than just being the CFO. He's watched the building projects that we've had the last several years and done a lot of other things, worked with the maintenance guys and transportation and just a lot of things, and a lot of knowledge there that's going to go out the door when he does, other than just, maintaining and taking care of the budget. 2020 has been a difficult year for a lot of people, and especially the school system employees. And, Mickey lost a home in a tornado, and I'm sure that weighed on his decision. And, Mickey had, I think he just got to the point where he, needed a break, and looking for other opportunities, maybe.
That's what he's going to be doing, looking for other opportunities. That's as far as we know.
Yeah, I think that's what he'll probably, what he's probably looking to do. And, just that's been a long time. It's been a lot of stress, stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and as far as Dr. Wright goes, yes, her contract's up and in the end of June. Now, as far as replacing Mickey goes, that will fall under Dr. Wright's jurisdiction. She's the one that does the hiring, and so she'll be the one that will be looking for the finance person, and hopefully she'll get that done sometime pretty soon. Dr. Wright's certainly capable of managing that part of the business herself because she had experience in that with both when she was in Knox County and Williamson County. So I'm not too worried about that. Mickey's got a really good staff that works for him. A lot of the ladies in that department and men in that department have been with us for a long time. They know what their job descriptions are, and they know how to go about doing their job. So where Mickey will be missed most, I guess, will be putting the budget together, and Donna's certainly capable of doing that.
Mm-hmm. What have you made plans to get to work to find a replacement for Dr. Wright?
Well, at the last board meeting, Coleman, I'm glad you brought that up. I asked board members John White and Bill Robinson if they would serve on a committee to start the process to see to explore the possibilities of us engaging an outside firm to come in and help with the search, and to find out if they could find somebody that they felt comfortable working with, what it might cost us, and or whether we want to do it in-house, take care of it ourselves. And how that process normally works is if you were to engage somebody else, they would bring you a list of candidates, and then you would look at that list of candidates and narrow it down to 5, 6, 7 people, whatever you wanted to, and then you would take it over with it and run with it from there.
So they find a large group that are interested to some degree.
Yes, they do, and I would think that there would be a lot of interest in Wilson County Schools. Being a director here, it is a tremendous responsibility, and but because of the success that the district has been able to gain since Dr. Wright's been here, she set the bar pretty high, and there will be a lot of and there's been a lot of good publicity come to Wilson County Schools over the last 7, 8, 10 years by things that we've been able to do and accomplish, and the goals that we've been able to attain. And in Coleman, Wilson County is a good place to live and raise a family, and we see that every day. And it's put a challenge on us with keeping the buildings built and that kind of thing. Yes. We've had a good county commission to work with, and a lot of people, I think, from across the country see that and recognize that and would like to be a part of that. So I think there'd be a lot of interest in it. I think that we have some people on the local level that's certainly capable of leading that organization.
We were talking a little bit about this during the break here, and I gathered from what you said here, there might be as many as 3 or 4 people right there right now who could possibly be capable of taking this over.
I certainly believe that. And now, Coleman, that's not to say that they want to do that.
Yeah.
you know, after being there and working with Dr. Wright over the years. And that's one thing I have to say about Dr. Wright. I think that since she's been here, she's been able to nurture some of these folks along, the ones that have really showed an interest in wanting to do better and you know, and get involved more than what they were already involved in. She's done a real good job of nurturing them along. And that's, I know here a few years ago, she started a principal pipeline program. And that helped us get some of the folks that we had working for us into that mode. And if you'll notice, the last several appointments that she's had to make as far as principals goes have come from within the house. Will come from people that were already working for us that had gone through that program. And so I think that there's been some folks that's watched Donna and have learned a lot from Donna. I call her Donna. Should be referring to her as Dr. Wright, but to me she's Donna. And but I think she's done a really good job with doing that. And like I say, I don't know whether they'd be interested in it or not. I think Dr. Wright told me one time that the average life for a director of schools is like 7 years. A tenure of 7 years, and some of them doesn't make it that long, but
Well,
a lot of responsibility.
let me ask this. If we have some people there who really are interested in and would seek this job, what are the chances that one of them would probably wind up with it? Do they have a better chance if you feel they're qualified and have already familiar with the system rather than bringing somebody in from afar?
Well, I think it's always good to have people that's been with you and know the lay of the land and know the community and how the people in the community feel about things to be in a position like that. But I also would say this, Coleman, we owe it to the people that we serve to find the best person that we possibly can get. And whether that be in-house or be somebody that's that you have to bring in. You know, and I guess since we went to an appointed director, we haven't had one that's come from in-house. And we started out with Dr. Jim Duncan.
Right, yeah,
And then went with, I guess it was, who followed Dr. Duncan? Mike Davis?
Yeah.
Mike, and then
Mike
they
Davis.
had Tim Sutherland, and then now we have Dr. Wright. So, but yeah, if the person's there, I think that would be the right thing to do. But on the other hand, the people that have elected us and the people that we serve, you know, you got to get the best person in there, whether it be local or not.
All right, I want to address one other thing. We had some changes on the school board in the election in August, and there are three people that came aboard in September.
Yeah.
What's that been like? How knowledgeable, or what? I guess there's a learning curve there, so to speak. Getting accustomed to how things are done and being a school board member. How would you what would you say about what's happened so far there?
I've enjoyed working with our three new members, Jamie Farah, Kerry Pfeiffer, and John White. And they all bring something good to the table. Jamie's, you know, she studies things and she does a good job. Miss Pfeiffer is a former teacher that's been in the classroom and has young kids in the system now, brings a lot to the table. John White is a businessman, very intelligent, you know, doesn't mind asking questions. None of the three mind asking questions. And they're usually always good questions. And it's, you know, but it's a learning process for them. I think any of the three of them would tell you that. You know, I've been doing it for a long time and I learn something every time we meet. But we have a good board. Bill Robinson is just solid as a rock, just steady guy. Go ahead, you know, just stays focused. Ms. Armstead, just, you know, loves the kids. She's been in the classroom. Yeah. She knows all about how things go in the classroom. And got a good head on her. We have a good board, and I'm just proud to be a part of it. And
we got about a minute left,
Yeah.
and I do want to ask one other thing about how are we financially right now? I mean, I guess that's a question for Mickey, but you have an idea. Well, are we in pretty good shape?
we're in good shape. And Coleman, one of the things that we can attribute that to was what was it, a year and a half ago now, whenever our residents voted a sales tax referendum, and that helped us really bump our teacher salaries up. That's what it all went for. And then by doing that, it enabled us to have that money that we would probably had to put towards teacher salaries. That's not to say that they're making enough. They're probably not making enough. We need to look at our classified staff, and that's the people that just that work for us in other capacities. We need to look at raising their salaries up too. And before we get off here, I just like to say this, Coleman. I want to thank everybody that works for Wilson County Schools and for what that they've endured this year. It's been tough. It was bad enough losing the 2 schools to the tornado, but the COVID situation that we're in, it's changed everything that we do, and not only for us but for this community too, and for the parents and the people that have kids in school, and appreciate them bearing with us through all this. And I hate to say this, Coleman, but it probably looks like it's not going to get any better anytime soon.
Larry, thanks so much. We're out of time. I haven't mentioned, but I will before we go. You are wearing your Tennessee Volunteers jacket this morning. You always like to show off the Vols.
Well, I do, and it's not as easy to do that now. But I guess I got too much of this stuff in my closet because every time I put something on it usually has
3-7 and going to a bowl game.
Well, we're not going to a bowl game.
Oh,
the COVID has hit us, and
okay.
so our head coach has come down, been diagnosed with it, and or the coach for right now is anyway. And so, we're going through a lot of transition up there too. But just Merry Christmas to everybody that's listening to us, and we appreciate you and thank you for trusting your children to us at Wilson County School.
Well, Larry, thanks for being here. Larry Thompson, Chair of the Board, Wilson County Board of Education. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And that's part 1 of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota and Rental. They have Land Pride quality tractor implements, including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty. Extremely durable and well built. Located at 1506 West Main. Now in traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Latest wreck's going to be at Lucas Lane and Trinity Lane there in East Nashville. 1400 block at Church Street in Midtown. That wreck should be out there in a few minutes. It's just now really starting to pick up out here on I-40 through Hermitage, Donaldson, coming past the airport. You got all that traffic coming out of Wilson County into Davidson County. To cater your next holiday party coming up, it's simple. Call Prince's Hot Chicken or go online. PrincesHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Vanderbilt Health is honored to announce the newest addition to our family of hospitals, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital in Lebanon. This hospital will provide care for Wilson County residents with the goal of improving the health and well-being of our newest community. Hospitals are for healing, new life, and recovery. They're places of innovation and learning. At the end of the day, hospitals are all about one thing: community. Thank you for welcoming us into yours. Let's do great things together.
It's going to be an absolute gorgeous day out there with highs in the upper 50s and plenty of sunshine. On Wednesday, we start out with sunshine, but by Wednesday night, rain showers do move in. Temperatures on Wednesday top out in the upper 50s. We may have some snowflakes mixing in Wednesday night into Thursday morning. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Tuesday morning. It's time for us to talk about Northside Senior Living. this is the first time I can remember Sean Dozier not either being here, being on the phone, or sending somebody, but he called a little earlier and told MJ to tell me just to do him a commercial. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Sean a little bit. He's the Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living, and we're going to talk a lot about Hearthside Senior Living, a retirement and assisted living community. It's located at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North here in Lebanon. When it's time for a helping hand, you need to keep them in mind. Call them for a personal tour. The community's nonprofit assisted living provider, locally owned and managed, voted best in Wilson County, and a few other things you might like to know. That Hearthside Senior Living is rooted in ministry, serving senior citizens who desire a safe and beautiful environment with a Christian community. Hearthside Senior Living was started by College Hills Church of Christ in 1994 and continues to be a vibrant ministry of the church. Hearthside Senior Living includes assisted living and an independent retirement community. And if you're a regular listener, you know we talk about both of those each week. Now, the retirement community is full and has a waiting list, and from time to time somebody leaves, either when they need more care than they have there, maybe need to go to assisted living, or just move somewhere else. Different things happen, and occasionally one becomes available. But if you want to be there, just get on their waiting list. But assisted living, at last report at least, had a few availabilities, and you can call Sean at 615-443-1994 and ask for more details about that. The assisted living community's mission is to serve seniors in our community who need additional assistance with their everyday routines. For more than 20 years, the assisted living community has been a blessing to many residents and families. So, Hearthside Senior Living, located right here in the heart of Lebanon, Tennessee, on the historic Castle Heights Military Academy campus. And as we said, the address is 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. And again, the phone number is 615-443-1994. You can find out a lot of information if you go to their website, and most people are internet friendly anymore. You've got that little device, and all you got to do is go to www.hearthsideliving.com and find out a lot more than we can tell you about here. And you can also check out weekly updates on Facebook at Hearthside Senior Living of Lebanon. Now, we have a Hearthside Hello every week, and I wasn't instructed as to whom our Hearthside Hello should go today, but why don't we say a Hearthside Hello to Sean Dozier? I think that would be good. Mike Jennings, you agree with that?
I agree with that.
All right. Hearthside Hello to Sean Dozier this morning. We missed you, buddy, but I hope you're okay and hope things are going well at Hearthside, and hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday, and we'll find out anything we've missed today. Well, we are about 23 minutes before the hour, and Mike Jennings is here. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Welcome.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome as always. I want to tell you, you got to give me a little credit here for having two UT fans. As you and Larry Tomlinson are two of the biggest UT fans I know around here.
Yeah, I thought about that as I was driving down this morning. I thought maybe we've had a conversion experience here. Thought maybe they'll pull in one of those big wash tubs and we'll baptize you and make you a Tennessee Vol.
I want to know if you had to adopt a Vanderbilt player to get to see their game with Tennessee.
I did not, but I want to say this and say it publicly. The Vanderbilt people were super nice to me. They couldn't help me, but they tried. They talked to me, and I sent the game was originally scheduled to be played in November.
Yeah.
And I sent an email that Monday to Vanderbilt's athletic director, and one of the people working in the department sent me an email back that afternoon and said she was very sorry. They appreciated it, my request, but they could not. They were not letting anybody in. That night, at about 6:30 at the supper table at home, I get another email from this same lady, and she said, I just wanted to let you know the game's been postponed, so you keep you in the loop. And I thought she didn't have to do that. Yeah. That was very nice. And the ushers down there were super nice. And one of them made the suggestion that ultimately got me into the game, Coleman, and that is he said, go up to the Tennessee families pass gate where they've got the tickets for the families, the only people that were being let in, and see if they've got anything. So I walked up there, and right at kickoff, I asked the guy, he said, what can I do for you? I said, you got any extra tickets? He said, how many you need? I said, one. Handed it to me, said, enjoy the game. Free ticket.
Hey, it doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, it was great. I had, of course, had a good seat because there wasn't anybody in there. And no concessions or anything. Yeah. They gave us a can of water as we went in. But the
gave you that.
Yeah,
didn't even charge you for
didn't
it.
charge, no.
So your record's intact. You still
yeah,
missed
yeah.
it.
I was very lucky on that. I will have to tell you this. I'll tell it on myself. I had already scoped me out a spot. You know where that parking garage is, where the Vanderbilt Big Shots park. It give the big money, 7 stories high, right there off the northeast corner of Dudley Field. There's nobody parking there because they didn't let anybody in. So I went up to the 7th floor about an hour and a half before the game, and I thought I can see the game from up here, see the whole field. And I was satisfied with that. Went back down, went over Wendy's, got me a hamburger. Came back 20 minutes before the game, standing up there. And I sat down because I thought, well, I'm going to stand the whole time, so I'll sit down and rest till the game starts or till the national anthem. And they sent security and told me I had to go. They sent security up there and made me leave. And I said, why are you guys up here? I ain't bothering anybody. He said a call came to us from the press box that this guy shouldn't be over there talking about me. And they had a 4-seater golf cart. And I said, well, that's all right. I said, why don't y'all just put me in that golf cart and ride me in the gate down there? I said, I know you're going in and out. Oh, we can't do that. I said, well, why can't you? Just put me on the back, and I'll get in there, and I'll get lost somewhere. I'll stand in the tunnel somewhere and watch the game. No, we can't do that. But they sent security to get me out of that parking garage, and I'm standing. And then in the second quarter, I looked around there, 7 people standing up there and 2 security guards. I'd gotten their spot.
What a story.
It's every bit true. But it worked out well for me.
Well, yeah, and y'all, I thought maybe you'd take it easy on Vanderbilt in the second half, call off the dogs, but
Coleman, we had a lot of frustration. we had a lot built up. We had to get it while we could.
I heard that there's some internal investigation going on. You shed any light on that before we get to what you came here for?
Just what I heard Saturday during the game. The story broke about the first quarter that Tennessee was I think they self-reported some violations, and then there was 2 coaches that didn't coach Saturday and 2 players that didn't play supposedly because of COVID. Of course, the rumor mill immediately kicked up, hey, one of them was a star player. They're holding him out so who knows? I think there's more to come.
Back named Gray, wasn't it?
Eric Gray, yeah. I think there's more to come on that, Coleman.
What
not good,
what about your coach with COVID? Is that true?
That's what they said yesterday. He said that, and I didn't realize this, but in the SEC on every Sunday, every player and coach is tested. And he and several players tested positive so that we would not have enough players to play in the bowl game. And then they retest them on Monday if you test positive to make sure. So,
well, they are trying to be careful, no doubt. But I did not know you weren't going to a bowl game till y'all told me this morning. I hadn't heard that. But
and got a lot of respect for Vanderbilt's football team because they didn't have the minimum number of players to play. They didn't have to play that game, but they chose to. They had people playing out of position. And Coleman, I always stay then, always, and I always stay after and kind of watch. And I saw Vanderbilt and Tennessee guys standing there together having their picture made together. I've never seen that in a Vanderbilt-Tennessee game. And I'm thinking, well, I think the Vanderbilt players gained some respect from Tennessee. And I think also they're thinking this has been a crazy year. Let's get some pictures where we can remember it,
What other thing? The punter that lives here got 2 Super Bowl rings. I never can think.
Craig Colquitt.
Craig Colquitt. He was here the other day.
I heard him that day.
Yeah, and he was telling me, Cafico, he said he hated Vanderbilt. And, of course, the feeling has been mutual over the years and all this sort of thing. But that a little bit different that day anyway.
Yeah, I always heard that whoever the head coach was would always let Coach Cafico address the team before they played Vanderbilt.
Oh, we had a county commission meeting last night, didn't we?
We did. Some pretty significant stuff last night, Coleman. We approved a bond issue, $43.5 million to build a new jail addition. About $39.5 of that's for the jail. and then another $3 million to build a couple of fire stations in West Wilson, and then the rest of that's cost of issuance and that type of thing. Even more significant is we voted to refinance about $42 million of general obligation bonds, I think, and then about $30 million of school bonds, and not going to extend the time, not going to change the payments. Well, of course, the payments will change, the interest rate will drop, and it's projected we'll save $4.5 million over the life of that. So it's a pretty nice Christmas present.
And Randall Hutto mentioned that, County Mayor Hutto mentioned that yesterday, and that's the savings there is going to allow some more construction to be done that we might have had a more difficult time figuring out a way to get.
Yeah, they've been able to pay as they go, not having to raise taxes or anything like that. So it's worked out well. And we had one other thing happen last night that people need to know. We had a social distancing expert show up last night, the Grinch.
No.
And he spoke to us on social distancing. He said he was an expert in it because nobody liked to be around him. And but he was dressed up and made his entrance, and nobody knew who he was. I mean, one or two did. Nobody knew.
A little levity, a little.
Oh yeah, worked out good.
Yeah. Okay.
Surprised everybody. Nobody's expecting. I guess the mayor was, but nobody else.
And it's time for us to take a break. Mike Jennings is our county attorney. He's also the mayor of Watertown. And between all of that, the UT football knowledge he has, we always have something to talk about. But we've got a lot more coming up, so keep it here, FM 98.9.
All right, it's now 7:47. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check. $49.95. They're located at 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Now really starting to pick up down 65 here at Trinity Lane. Moving a wreck at 14th and Haynes Street. Also Lucas at Trinity Lane, East Nashville. That wreck is being moved out of that intersection as we speak. Hey, to cater your next holiday party coming up, it's simple. Call Princess Hot Chicken or go online at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Defensive drivers pay attention to their surroundings. They take precaution to keep their passengers and others on the road safe. We can all be defensive drivers during COVID-19 pandemic. Today, I ask you to take the necessary precautions to keep yourselves and others safe from COVID-19. Wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask, stay at home when you're sick. Living a cautious life doesn't mean that you live in fear. It just means that you care for others. Wilson County cares. This has been a public service announcement from the Wilson County Mayor's Office. Thank you and Merry Christmas.
The 2020 Titans have all grown up together. They've had a taste of success in the playoffs, and they're back with Derrick Henry.
Henry 20, Henry 10.
Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Tannehill keeping around right in, driving, he's in.
A stout defense.
Titan ball.
And a head coach in Mike Vrabel who's ready to lead them.
Brought to you by Steve Lowe Plumbing and the Jewelers.
LHS, Cumberland University, and the Tennessee Titans. The winning teams are on WANT 98.9.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here now. Our final segment for a Tuesday morning. Mike Jennings, our county attorney. We've got more to talk about from last night's county commission meeting. But when you can refinance some bonds, save some money to come up with, maybe I guess it's not exactly robbing Peter to pay Paul, but at least you save some money here. It goes a long way to what you want to do as far as building some new fire stations and the expansion of the jail and other things we got to do. That just sounds like a really good move to make, and with interest rates coming down and being able to refinance, I mean, why not?
Well, it is a really good move. It's some good financial planning, and I think I heard that some of those bonds, it's a combination of bonds that we're refinancing, But some of those had interest rates at 3.4%. And you think, well, that's not much.
No.
But when we refinance, it's estimated it's going to drop to 1.75%. The county has such a good credit rating that we are able to borrow money probably cheaper than most of the counties around us. So it works out to our favor. There's been a lot of good planning and management over the years. And you know, when you look back, Coleman, at the number of schools that we've had to build, the number of fire halls, we built a new jail back in the late 80s. We've spent a lot of money in construction, but we've been able to handle it. And, you know, when the oldest high school at Wilson Central, and he's 20 years old, that speaks pretty well for everybody involved in it. I think they can legitimately pat themselves on the back.
Any controversial issues last night? Everybody pretty much on the same page?
We didn't have a negative vote last night.
Yeah.
It's the way it ought to be at Christmas. I was a little surprised on a couple of them. There was some debate in the budget committee. Some wanted to pay more from existing funds than borrow money. They wanted to use part of the capital projects fund to build the fire stations and not include it on the bond. But the capital, as it was explained to us, the capital projects fund is basically there to make debt payments. So if you start spending it and it's not there for debt payments later on. So, but it wound up being unanimous. We had a pretty healthy debate about that in budget, about the options. So it was a good night. It was a good night. And we got our business done in about an hour and 20 minutes and got out of there. That's always a good night.
Yeah. You got home in time to see the Steelers get beat, didn't you?
I did. I caught it about 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. They didn't look very good.
They did not look good at all last night. And
may have been the beginning of the end for Big Ben. He didn't look good. He overshot his receivers 3 or 4 times, I thought.
Well, I was counting on them to beat the Colts and help the Titans.
Well, they may still do it. They're gonna unload on somebody, because after 3 losses, you don't kick the Steelers around long. They'll come back.
Yeah. Well, anything else, even about the county that I mean, of course, we've talked about the school board and that situation. Well, more with Larry, but anything you want to add to? You probably heard what he said this morning.
Yeah, let me just mention a couple of things we did last night.
Oh, okay, all right.
We honored Volunteer State last night for their 50th anniversary of Volunteer State Community College, and their president was here, and that was a very nice thing. We honored Steve Lynch, the assistant road commissioner for many, many years, 33 with the road department, not that many as assistant superintendent. But Steve will be missed, and his retirement's well deserved. He's done a good job.
Well, I did some programs with Steve Armstead back when he was road superintendent. He always bragged about Steve Lynch and what a good job he did, and I think he actually was sort of groomed to take Steve Armstead's place, but he really didn't want it.
He really didn't want it.
And he liked what he did. He stayed where he was, and he has been, I think, a very valuable member of the road commission people, and very deserving of a good retirement here.
I always heard that a good boss wouldn't require his employees to do anything that he wouldn't do. And Steve was that way. He talked about going out in the middle of the night, on snow calls. Talked about he and his wife going out one night, and he cut limbs for 4 hours, and she rode with him. Apparently we'd had some windstorm or something, and they cleared a road. The other young man we honored last night was Aiden Britt, the cross-country runner from Lebanon High School. He is a state champion and is a signee of the University of Mississippi, going there on a cross-country scholarship. I know just about everybody around here, probably everybody knows Aiden, but I noticed 3, 4, 5 years ago this guy running, and I mean, running up and down the streets, and I mean, he's running. He's not jogging. He's flat out running. And I realized after a while who it was, and they honored him last night. And Dr. Wright said that he is in the top 1% for consideration of a merit scholarship. So he is as good academically, or maybe better academically, than he is athletically.
Well, a scholarship to Ole Miss is not to be sneezed at.
It's not. It's not, and I've seen him running, and I'm glad his dedication's paid off for him.
Yeah.
Now, what were you asking me? I
done
just thought I better slip that in.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
did. Well, really anything else you want to say about the school? You're involved in that litigation to some extent, aren't
Well,
you?
I have been. I got brought in 2 weeks ago, Coleman, and nobody had. And I'm not being critical. Not that
And
I
I
could have
might
done
have
it.
used the wrong word. I said litigation. Maybe it hadn't come to
Well,
that.
it's
It's
headed.
It's headed
Some
there.
decisions going to have to be made shortly after the first of the year. We have. It's been handled over inside the school system, and Assistant Director Mickey Hall kind of headed that up. They employed a group to help us, the same people that helped in Joplin, Mississippi, Missouri, when they had the tornado. And so it's come down to county thinks these buildings ought to be replaced, and we have replacement value insurance. Insurance company thinks they ought to be repaired, and frankly, we're about $14-15 million apart. That's a great big gap. And when I got in, I tried to get people talking, and I made a proposal that was kind of way out there, but I was just trying to get them to the table to talk. And I got a call the next day from a gentleman with Travelers at Connecticut, and he wanted to talk. And he said, I'll rent a car and come down there. And I said, well, if you're going to bring money, that's fine. And he said, well, I'll spend a couple hours educating. I said, no, I don't need to be educated. I know we need our schools rebuilt. And I said, that's my position. So we need new schools, and we got to have them. We got to get started now. So we never had that meeting. I'm hopeful that sometime in the next few days we can, but there's a gap there that's got to be bridged. And right now we're pretty far apart.
Would it make any difference if I don't think there's anybody local involved in the insurance company there, the local representative from Lebanon or Wilson County?
Don't think so.
Would that make any difference if it was? Somebody here pulling for us a little harder?
Well, it could. You never know those things. It could. What we've got here is a school system is a part of like so many school systems, the Tennessee Risk Management Trust, and it's a pooled insurance thing. And they cover all your losses up to a certain point, and then they buy reinsurance, and the reinsurance is with Travelers. So our battle is really with Travelers. And it's not gotten to the shouting and that type of thing. We're still taught, but we got to get, this happened on March the 3rd.
Yeah.
Here we are now. We've almost birthed this baby. We're almost at the end of 9 months, and we should have been building schools 5-6 months ago, and everybody wanted to. But as I heard Larry say it correctly, you got to know where your money is, and the people that are going to build it got to know they're going to get paid.
Right.
So we've got to get this resolved, and I hope litigation is not the answer, but it may be the only option we have.
We got 3 minutes left here. I guess we can talk about Watertown a minute.
Yeah.
Y'all have had a change on your city council.
We have. My vice mayor resigned a couple of weeks ago, and we had a meeting the next night, a regularly scheduled meeting, and Brandy Barrett Holcomb was elected vice mayor for the next 2 years. So I now have, as we sit here, Coleman, a mayor and 4 council people out of 6. I have 1 vacancy from the resignation, and then one of the gentlemen who was elected did not take the oath. And my understanding is he's sending me a written acknowledgement that he does not intend to serve. So we expect to have 2.
Who is that?
Jim Mahoney. So we expect to have 2 vacancies to fill in January.
How will you do that?
City council elects.
Okay.
And so I've got somebody sent me a message during the ball game Saturday, wanting to know what it required, and I said just get a councilman to nominate you, and you got to get a majority of the votes. So
it's fairly simple.
Yeah, it is. It's just it's a type of thing that puts the council people in a bad position, and myself, because you're probably going to have to choose from between people that you know and you like. And the last time we did that, we had 3 or 4 candidates, and Hal Roberts wound up winning on the second vote. but it makes it difficult when you have to pick between people. You know, it ain't like stepping in the booth and voting for governor and you don't know who it is. I mean, you know these people. You see them at the grocery store. You see them at the football game. So,
you had any proclamations or issued any edicts or whatever regarding COVID in Watertown?
no, but what we have done, and we've not changed, Coleman, is we closed City Hall right after this started. You can't come in. You can pay your bills online. You can leave them in the drop box. You can pay it at the bank, send us a check, whatever you want to do, but you don't come in. Mm-hmm. Because I've just got two ladies that work there, and if one of them gets exposed to it, the other one's got to go, and I don't have anybody run the office.
Right.
We have all of our meetings have been remote. No people are allowed, and no citizens. We closed the community center. We've not rented it out for the first time ever, you know, for Christmas, and so nobody's been able to use that. We closed the basketball goals for a while and the playground for a while. All of that's still in effect, except the basketball goals and the playground, because you're out in the open, are still open. But all of the things we've had to do with the city are still in effect. So we just never have changed, and
not much else you can change.
Not much else we can do.
Okay.
And when the governor was talking Sunday night, I was sitting there thinking, well, everything he's talking about doing, we've already done to the best we can.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it in place, and I look forward to a day when we have a meeting again, when see people we know, but not going to be a while.
Thanks for being here. We've covered a lot of ground, but
we have.
Good to see you as always. Hopefully, we'll see you next year.
Yeah, I hope to. And Merry Christmas to you and everybody out there listening. And hope everybody has a safe and healthy holiday.
All right, Mike Jennings, our county attorney. That's it for a Tuesday. Join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.